Let's talk about the $1 million portfolio, which ended the day at $1.14 million. All right, it's Fook. Welcome back to the channel. And that was a great performance for the last month or so. This is up 6% compared to May, where we ended in the $1 million portfolio at $1.08 million. I believe this is a new high for the $1 million portfolio, so I'm really happy about it. It's a great way to head into the weekend. So it's great. There is one problem though. This is a really weird portfolio that I'm holding, and it's completely off from what I intended at the beginning of the year. So let's take a look at what that allocation should be, and then talk about like how I'm doing compared to the market and to the allocation as I set it up, and the mistakes that I made through the first half of this year. So this allocation for the $1 million portfolio in 2024 is essentially the same as what it was last year. The main difference being that I introduced a couple of leveraged ETFs for the NASDAQ 100, which is the TQQQ, or the triple Qs as we call it, and also some triple leveraged long-term bonds as represented by TMF. Otherwise, the allocation is pretty much the same as it was last year. If you had stuck with this allocation through yesterday, that's how far back I could go in the back test, you would be up 31% for the year. This compares to 15% for the S&P 500. So it would have been a great allocation to hold for 2024. Unfortunately, I did not do this. So my $1 million portfolio is only up 3.14% for the year. And since I put this portfolio public about, 3 years ago, I'm probably up overall 15%. I guess that's better than losing money or being flat, but it's way underperforming my allocation and the market in general. And why is that? Well, it's because I played with some options, and once it was called away from me, I didn't buy back right into the security, so that was mistake number one. The other mistake I made was to go into long-term bonds way too early. I don't think that my thesis is wrong to load up on long-term bonds, because I do think that we are getting inflation under control, and that eventually will be pretty soon, the Fed will have to lower rates. The challenge, as usual, is that the timing is totally off. And during that timing, you can get totally beaten up. And being out of the market is a bad thing. And this is a prime example of it. So you've all heard the saying from my previous videos on this, as well as others, that your time in the market is better than trying to time the market. And unfortunately, I was timing the market. I got a bit too greedy. It's not necessarily the wrong call for the long term, but it was just premature. And my performance took a beating for it, and you can see it. But I think we are in a good stretch, fingers are crossed, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, it is what it is. So, you're seeing all the mistakes I'm making live in this portfolio, and I'm trying to give everybody the best advice I can, but it's that case of, do as I say, not as I do kind of thing. So there you go. In any case, let's just take a look at this portfolio. Like I said, we're at 1.14 million as the market closed today. You can see that compared to what my target allocation is for this portfolio in 2024, it's completely out of whack. I have almost half the portfolio in the triple leverage bonds, some in just the regular long-term bonds, and then a little bit towards the NASDAQ 100 and the triple Qs. Not so much towards the value stock, which is represented by this REIT, Realty Income, and Schwab Dividend, and very low on the gold allocation. Gold is also on a big tear for 2024, but the NASDAQ and recently the long-term bonds have really made a big difference. So this allocation is completely out of whack. The one thing that I did say at the beginning of 2024 as kind of my New Year's resolution in terms of, at least my financial life, is that once I buy into something, I'm not going to sell it. So even though I was early on the call for long-term bonds, took a beating for it, I'm hanging on for dear life. The only time that I'm going to sell is when it comes time to rebalancing, which is Not yet, as I say. So for now, I'm going to sit on this very weird allocation, which another viewer of the channel here has said about this particular portfolio. And it's very weird right now because it's completely out of whack with what I planned. But eventually, within the next maybe 6 months or so, I'll get it back to what I intended to be. And hopefully we're all good. So that's it for June 14th, 2024. I'm happy to have made a new high in the portfolio. I'm a bit disappointed with the year-to-date performance compared to the market and where I should be if I just did my allocation from the get-go for 2024. But as they say, it is what it is. C'est la vie. So I'll see you on the next one, and thanks for stopping by. See you later. Bye.